Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to RFO Season 5, run number 5 today. We are in Greece once again. Last week we tried to race here, but unfortunately Roblox shut down due to a server issue. But now we are back and we are ready to go for round number 5. We have decided that the pre-season or mid-season break will be scrapped because we already have been 2 weeks without racing and it feels way longer, so I'm happy we finally are back on the road. Joining me in the commentary box today is at the moment not anyone, but that will change shortly. At least that is the expectations. Alright. Some things have happened between last week and this week, but we're also going to go over the changes which happened 2 weeks ago because, well, there wasn't a race last week. So, one of the big things to talk about is Harry, who has been demoted to reserve for Alfa Romeo. This was a change we all saw coming, but it still is surprising because the one that replaces him is a new guy, Fun Channel. I know Fun Channel from Delp Zion League, he's a very fast guy driving for Ferrari. So I expect him to fight in the midfield considering this league is better, to put it in words. Another big news was Aviation, who has been demoted to reserve for Brandstar. He is having a very tough season this season. And the one who replaces him is Warlord, who has placed a very good position this sprint race, which happened, well, a few minutes ago, but we couldn't stream that on, unfortunately. One of the other big news is that Confused has left Alpine because he wants to retire. He had enough of racing, so he said goodbye. And the one who will be replacing him, which got announced earlier today, is Aviation. So that's going to be very exciting. Those were the changes for these races. I hope that Pinion will join us soon to talk about the track a bit. But that will probably be a bit later down the line. Currently the most drivers are just chilling out a bit. And we are around 7 minutes away from starting, so I got a good feeling about that. Looking back at the results for the sprint race, there were actually quite some interesting things. Bevid Qatar was battling hard with Officer Cap for the lead, but in the end he crashed out. I mean, Bevid Qatar crashed out and Officer Cap regained the lead. That allowed Acer to get a chance to get close. He even tried to go on the softs for more aggressive strategy, but in the end that kind of failed. So if you look at the standings, it's Officer Cap in P1, Acer in P2 and Clockst in P3 for Alfa Romeo. Very good for them, because they're going to get a lot of points considering the new rule changes. And those rule changes are that in sprint races there are more points for the person who is volume low. The music volume is low on purpose, in case you were wondering, because otherwise it is kind of a bit too loud and you can't really hear what I'm saying. But I'll turn it up a bit so you can enjoy that music. Anyway, one of the new rule changes that was made is that sprint races will now give more points to the drivers. This is very good for not only the slower drivers to get some more points, but also for top tier drivers like Officer Cap. Considering the car has not participated in the sprint race, it means that Officer Cap is way closer on the points. Which is very crucial for his title fight because, well, I think there are only now 3 or 4 points between them. So that's going to be very exciting. the standings for today because, well, I don't really know what I'm talking about now. I'm kind of alone here and I need someone to talk to very badly. Because some people are watching football at the moment and I don't give it. Anyway, looking at the standings from the past couple of races, we can see that Ferrari is in the lead with 24 points. Vexilon Racing is very close behind them on 119. Do keep in mind that this is not including the sprint race of today. So there will be some changes, mainly Vexilon Racing going up. Craig is in P3 but is very close by E-Spirit. Alfa Romeo in 5th, so that is a pleasant surprise. Then Alpine in 6th, Brandstar in 7th, AlphaTauri in 8th and Mercedes in 9th, who haven't really gotten a good season so far. Aston Martin is in 10th, also not a very good season so far, but they haven't gotten the new driver lineup for very long, so we expect them to get some points this week. Looking at the driver standings is going to get a bit more interesting. The car is in the lead, of course, with 75 points. After gap with 65 behind, but I expect that gap to close after the rules are updated. Hogbase in 3rd, and very close behind him is a two-way tie between Buffett Qatar and Acer. Zentorno is in P6, very fast guy, but he hasn't been the most consistent this season. Some in 7th, B-Guys in 8th, Dutch Master Train in 9th, Klakst in 9th and Outguard in 10th. Orate in 11th, I think that is a mistake, he's probably in 10th. Looking a bit lower down, yeah, the Aston Martins are not really much fast at the moment, but we're sure that will change very shortly because of their driver lineup. I'm just having a quick look at the times of the drivers who are driving currently. And Aviation is on pole, so that's very nice to see. I've also made a quick of a highlights video to recap and remind people a bit about what happened this season so far.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to RFO Season 5. We have new drivers, new tracks, new rules, new cars. Let's see what they can do with it and who will become the champion of this year.
You're like a ghost. You're haunting me. Just like a ghost. You're haunting me now.
Hogbase brings it home to win the first race of the season. We are lights out in South Korea. And the car brings it home and wins. We're here now in Australia. A lot of changes have happened already in the first two races. One of the most notably changes being the rebrand from Red Bull to Jaguar. And they're off and away.
After cap it's very late in the race, dit could cost him his podium.
The car wins and Officer Cap just misses out. Massive crash by Kral. The car wins for the third time in a row.
So yeah, that was a bit of a recap of what is going on. Currently people are preparing and it looks like the race will start pretty much now. So we're not going to have an intro, let's call that our intro so far and get to our race. Alright. And now we wait for the fun to happen. We're going to see who is getting pole today, and I really hope someone else joins me here today because, well, I'm getting quite bored on my own. I'll be right back when something happens. Oh, and something happened. The drivers are getting on the grid now. Officer Cap in P1, Buffett Qatar in P2. That's going to be very good for them as we are preparing to go to lights out. It doesn't look like anyone had a start problem. The car is very far down the back, so that is something to keep an eye out. Drivers are doing some startup for the engines. You can hear the cars revving. I don't know if you can, but I can. And here come the lights. All lights are on and they are off, and it's Buffett with a very slightly start, and Officer Cap makes great use of that and takes the lead from him straight away. Or never mind, Buffett Qatar is actually ahead. That's very surprising. Looking a bit at the back, there is someone with a very bad start, which is Warlord. For the rest, everyone gets away pretty well. Actually, the car is not here, it is Del Boyo, the team principal of Ferrari, who is driving. So that is quite a shocker. And he is spinning! Oh, that's very close. He almost went into the wall. Actually entered in the wall, but there is no damage for him. That is very bad for him. Ivarix is also the team principal. And is that of Apollo? That is very surprising, seeing him down there at the back. Looking back at the front, Officer Cap, and there's a big slide, and that's Aviation, but he saves it. Two customs on time, but that was a very near crash. It turns out Zentorno is in the lead. Buffett Qatar has flipped. Thankfully he did not go over the wall, so he's still in the race. Zentorno leads, Buffett Qatar is pretty much down in last. Outguard is actually in second, very good job by him. It doesn't look like anyone has crashed in the chicane of death. And it has, Del Boyo is out. A very bad start for Ferrari this race. Zentorno leads, Outguard battling very hard with Officer Cap with Acer hot on his tail. Very exciting race so far. And we're only beginning. And that is a car going slow. Who's that? Is that Acer? No. There is a car going very slow, and I think that is someone who is not racing. Officer Cap is putting Zentorno under pressure. Going through the assets is gonna get very close. Zentorno stays ahead for now. Going for the Zentorno hit. Oh, and there go a few people go wide, but no one hits the wall. Everyone is making it through safely. Hawkbase is also very much down the pack. And B guys also in P14. Very bad day for most of the top runners. Which is a very good opportunity for the smaller drivers to get close. and get points. Santorno had a problem, I think, because Officer Cap took the lead from him and Acer is up into P2. Whatever Santorno did on the opening lap, he will have to do it again if he wishes to get those points back. Outguard also doing very well into P4. He really needs a good result, so let's hope he can keep it. Someone going very wide in the back, that is Warlord. Actually, most people are going very wide there, I think. Oh, and there's someone out. Is that Santorno? That is Santorno. He is out of the race already. That is very bad news for his chances once again finishing in the barrier. Which means Officer Cap will keep the lead and Acer is only 1.45 seconds behind, and I don't know how much he can do about that. It looks... oh dear. It looks like Kloxt had a problem. He is also down, so that is not what we want to see. Artemis probably out, Santorno. Ivarix is... yeah, you could say he's in a league of his own, but he isn't actually a driver. So maybe that's the reason why he is sticking to team principal. Acer getting a personal fastest sector. It doesn't look, or the Officer Cap I mean, so Acer will have to do a bit more to catch up. Crowl. I thought Crowl was in P3, but it turns out that was a glitch. Those things can happen. As we're riding on board with Crowl through the S's. We see Santorno's car. Oh, and there's someone going into the wall in front of him. Who was that? That is Hawk! Hawk Base is out of the race already. Very chaotic for him and a very bad news for Vexilon Racing. What a shocker. Warlord. Oh no, Lordy is out. Warlord crashed too. The cars are dropping like flies today. I cannot keep up. Outguard is putting pressure on Acer as Aviation also trying to join the fight up into P4. Very good for the Aston Martins in P5 and P6 with Fun Channel in P7 with Bedford Qatar closing on his tail as he is trying to get back to the front. Warlord and Kloxt at the back. Ivarix cruising down in P12. If he keeps this up with consistency, he might actually win it. Or not win it, I mean he might actually get points. Running wood with Buffett. He's trying to get a better line than Fun Channel to overtake him. Although it doesn't seem like it is working so far. Is there a car in the barrier there? Oh, that is still the car of Buffett going to pit. Oh, that's surprising. Buffett pitting very early, probably trying an undercut. And he is not the only one. Is that a Warlord? He is also trying to pit. Meanwhile, back at the front, Officer Cap is waltzing away from Acer. And he is waltzing away from Outguard. So something has to happen, and something has happened. Aviation going almost in the wall. The same mistake Dol made at the start. Kral is using that as good as he can and trying to get very close to Aviation's rear, who is using a lot of ERS. Both going a bit wide. Oh, a bit of a slide by Kral, but he keeps it. And he is ahead of Aviation, but for how long is the question? Aviation is ahead. Who's going to get the fastest through the chicane as they both pit? And he's not the only one. Officer Cap and Outguard are also going in. Okay. Many people are going in now, so it's probably time for new hearts. Fun Channel, one of the few people who's staying out, along with Acer. Last time Acer stayed out in the sprint race, it didn't work out for him, so let's hope it does today. And yes, Ferrari is certainly in the mud. It looks like something has happened. Aviation is getting team orders from Del Boyo, meaning it is not worth anything. Because he's also down a lot, so yeah, it's not... at the start of the season he was very fast, but now he's kind of losing it. Warlord trying to catch up on the new hearts. As Fun Channel and the Aston Martin driver are going in, but Acer is staying out. Staying out even longer, and that allows Officer Cap to close down on him. So I don't know what he is thinking of, but he's really trying to get the lead with a very aggressive strategy, I assume. Or very conservative. Kral into P3 for real now. So that's a very good job by him, but it also looks like he still will need to pit. Outguard behind him who doesn't need to pit. Scanning on him very fast. Front channel lose a lot of some places, I think. Aviation in P6 trying to fight Buffett Qatar, who is doing a very good catch-up job. They're going wheel to wheel through the S's. Aviation just behind. And I think Buffett overtook him for that position. But maybe he could come back. Both have DRS open, so that won't be used. Warlord! Warlord is out! Another one bites the dust. Buffett Qatar keeps the head ahead of Acer. Ahead of Aviation, my mistake. Acer on the end is actually doing a pretty good job of holding back Officer Cap. The gap is only 9 seconds, and yes, Officer Cap did gain 2 seconds the last lap, but now if Acer pits, he is on way fresher tires, so maybe this works for him, or maybe it doesn't. That is really the question now. So you watch on board with Officer Cap for the S's. Aviation chat is going back at it. And he is fighting very hard to get back past Buffett. Acer now going into the pits. Very late, but he has now gotten the better tires. Obviously, gap goes a little bit wide. So now it's the question, how fast can Acer get back? A Kral? No, not again. Kral is out of the race once again. Such a shame. Turns out Acer is now 10.4 seconds behind Officer Cap, which is a pretty good for him. So now it will be, he will do his best to catch back up, which will be very hard. Outguard trying to fight now as Aviation just took the places back and is now into P3, and Outguard going after Buffett Qatar. So that's very welcome. FVRX is pitting. Outguard going very slidey over the bumps. But he sticks it and saves it. Aviation hits the wall again. He has gotten very loosey-goosey there. As he's going through the chicane. Acer is catching up a bit to Officer Cap, but not very much. But he takes all he can get at the moment. Ivarix is getting lapped, but he's also now in the points, so turns out consistent driving is also very important in this race. Aviation takes his place, but with Qatar, Outguard lost a bit of places, so that's interesting to see. Outguard will have to get back up to place because, well, he's losing time a lot. Ivarix is actually getting the blue flag to get out of the way. Considering we're at the chicane of death, that is very useful for the other drivers. Clocks is behind his less experienced teammate at the moment, so yeah, he will have to catch up very fast.
Yo.
Hello, hello, hello.
And that's a fucking podium thrown away.
Yeah, we saw it. What a shame that happened.
Honestly, I'm just telling you, if I find the guy who designed this track, I'm going to tie him to a fucking tree and smash his head in with a hammer.
Alright, just wanted to inform you that we are live at the moment.
I am fully aware of that.
Okay.
It was a threat. If you hear this, I am looking for you.
Very good to know.
Ah, fuck, that's so annoying. I was good. I had good pace.
Yeah,
I would have been on top. I would probably have been on podium.
Acer into P2. This is actually a bit slidey, I think. I mean...
Yeah, no, I was doing good. I was keeping up with Capstar.
Yeah, that was very interesting to see. Officer Cap is actually in a very good position now, considering this is the time for him to get his first win of the season, surprisingly, and get back P10 or P1 in the championship.
Yeah.
He really needs that against the one and only Dakar.
Yeah. And Dakar is obviously missing this race for some reason. Not aware why, but he's...
From what I've heard is that he couldn't join.
Yes.
So that is a big shame and not a reason you should be able or you should miss a race, but it happens. It can happen.
Yes, no, obviously this is a very
Ivarix,
dangerous track.
He lost his wing. How did he lose his wing?
Who lost his wing?
Ivarix lost his wing. That's surprising considering his pace.
Yeah, he was going so slow. I can't believe. How can you crash when you're driving that slow?
I mean, currently the only thing he's doing is trying to stay consistent, which is working because he is in the points at the moment. So
yes, that is very true.
He's doing what he is supposed to do, I guess, apart from crashing at the moment.
Correct. Now, this is obviously a very difficult track to drive. It's very hard to be consistent since the guy who designed this is a cock and decided to fill it with bumps.
That is
But
correct.
it is a very fun layout and it's very rewarding when you can push it to the max.
Let's take a moment to appreciate Acer, who is still closing in on Officer Cap. Not very fast, but he is closing in because the gap is down by 2 seconds since the last time we talked to him, or last time we saw him. So it's very nice to see him go at it at Officer Cap, considering it didn't work out that way in the sprint race.
Yes, I crashed in the sprint and in the race in the exact same way. I tried to exit the chicane and my rear wheel taps the bump on the exit and my car gets sent into the wall.
Yeah, that
which I think is complete bullshit because I have no idea why they have big bollards in the middle of the track. Because let's be honest, those bumps are on the racing line.
Yeah, it is very annoying. Buffett
they're
Qatar,
actually
it's
quite
going into the
pointless.
pits. Once again, very early, so I think he is trying to get his way back up with undercuts.
He's gonna have to go on hards now and go to the end. but
Acer closing
he's far
again
behind.
off
He has-
Cap.
I doubt he's gonna score a podium, but yes.
I think Acer is in a very good position for maybe even the win, considering that Officer Cap will have to pit sooner than him.
Yes.
And Acer can go for longer and then get newer tires near the end.
Yes, JCAS is up to 8th now.
Big guy also pitting for a new set of hards.
Got the 2 Alfa Romeos battling mid-pack
Very
right now.
good for them at the moment.
Buffett exits. Let's see, he's in sector 1 right now. He's right on the tail of the Aston Martin.
Yeah, I was just saying that Aston Martin was in a very good position before you
Yes.
crashed. So
Yes, that was quite unfortunate. We could have scored good points if the track was normal.
yeah, you really needed the points considering that Aston Martin is in P10.
Lost.
Yeah.
Yes, nah, I don't care too much. I'm just racing for fun.
Apart from the times that something does not go away, then all the fun gets away because you crash or something.
Yeah,
you can't
obviously,
do anything
obviously,
about.
even if you're racing for fun, when you're competitive, you still want to do well. So it's of course annoying when it doesn't. And that is Buffett almost out as he takes too much curb in the chicane.
I like how Dave is actually streaming his own POV in the chat.
Yes.
Like, I don't know, is he trying to undercut me or something?
That is unfortunate for Buffett, who will lose ground now. He's currently running in P8.
I mean, he did have a early pit stop, so maybe it's just all
Yes,
part of
but-
what he's thinking.
But at this stage, the top 4 can box for softer compounds than hards and still come out around the same as him, which means that they will be able
After
to.
Cap going
more
in
cap.
now. Ivar's
He's going
also
in.
in. Let's see what he's taking.
Let's see, and Buffett is still battling
Going
with
back on the
Asa.
hards.
Back on the hards, understandable. I would probably have gone for mediums. but
Everyone else is
depends
staying
on-
out. So I think he's trying a undercut to maybe get ahead or get further away, I suppose.
And Buffett is still battling with the Aston Martin on much older tires. And Buffett once again takes a little bit too much care, but he doesn't get as hurt by it that time.
Well, something Buffett has done over the course of this race is doing a very good catch-up job between the start of this race where he flipped and now, because he was fighting with the top of the midfield, so that is very good.
That is correct.
Cap now 10.8 seconds behind Acer, so going to have to keep an eye on that to see how much time Acer loses,
Yes.
as Cap is now on the new tires.
Well, I can't see any outcome where Buffett gets a podium, but I feel like he could aim for P4, P5.
Yeah, he definitely...
He's closing up to clocks right now.
And yeah, he really needs results this time, considering he's a bit down the championship contenders at the moment.
That is correct.
Ivar's pitting again on the medium, surprisingly, so just trying to stay consistent as the gap between Acer and Cap is 9.2 seconds, so there is some
Yeah,
place
not
losses, but not
exactly-
that much.
Pace difference isn't that much right now, since Scap is on the hards. The immediate difference in tire performance isn't going to be that massive. Ivox is obviously lapped, and it looks like he made a mistake coming out of the banked corner. As Jake has boxed now, Jake has boxed. Is he gonna come out ahead of B guy? No, he's not. He's been undercut by B guy, but Jakas is on fresh mediums for the end of the race.
He's going to need
So
that
the
if he wants to
Aston-
get clocked.
Yes, but depending on fun channel or clocks box, it could be a P6 possibly.
Cap is now getting closer to Acer, with the gap going down to 7.6 actually, so in the last sector he didn't lose that much, so I think Acer is in a very good position.
Yes, that is affirmative.
Only 6 laps left. I think he will go onto the mediums. Last time he tried to go onto the soft for an undercut,
Opposite
which
gap is now
failed. So
2.6. Opposite gap is now 7.6 seconds behind Acer.
I
And
think
Buffett is up to P5 now.
Aviation
P4
is out.
as Fun channel boxed. Fun Channel box. Aviation is out,
No!
and he has crashed in exactly the same way that everyone else has crashed in.
Once
Welcome to
again.
the corner of physics.
The chicane of death claims another.
Fun Channel is exiting the pits now.
Acer will
As
have to pit
Jacobs
now, I think.
Come through now. Okay, let's see now.
I mean, if Acer now
Fun
goes
Channel-
onto the mediums, he's on a very good place.
That is
Buffett
correct.
into P4, so
It looks
he's
like-
actually maybe getting a podium like you said he didn't do, so
No, I don't think he's gonna be able to. So
that's
I
something
think
to keep an eye on.
But that was before. That was before Aviation crashed.
Acer is still staying out with the gap now going down ever more, with it being 5.3.
And JKS is in P8 currently, and he's gonna be with Fun Channel and P-Guy battling to them now.
I think Acer is making a big mistake.
Do you think so?
I do think so. I think
It's
either
only
he's staying out.
5.3. It's
Yeah, but
5.3 now.
there are still five laps left, and his tires are going to wear out ever more, and after
beat
cap,
it up.
not.
P3. Let's see, that's Cap, and he is 4.2 now. It's around the second sector at this stage, so yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think Acer's
Ace.
into trouble now. I mean, he has time to go for the fastest lap.
Yes. He could box and come out ahead of Buffett and go the fastest lap. Now we look at the battle between Outguard and Buffett for the final podium position.
And Buffett just took that position. I think Outguard had a little drift there.
So
Buffett
did
in the
Buffett.
podium somehow.
Yeah, well, when everyone else crashes, of course, if you stay on track, then
Yeah.
it's gonna help. And he's
Acer
one of the
staying
fastest
out,
driver.
and it hurts to see because the gap is down to 2.7.
Yeah, well, he's guaranteed a podium either way, but yeah, I still can't see why he risks this. Oh, and Ausgard almost makes a mistake.
V-Guys is actually going for the fastest lap, I think, with the soft, so
Yes,
that is going to be interesting.
B guy on the soft stand. Very interesting indeed. Aviation,
We can
JCAS
now
up to
see
P7
Offscap
now.
in the distance as we look at, if we look at Acer.
He hasn't caught up that much. Looks like I've made some sort of mistake on the
Yeah,
way,
but
it's obviously very close.
Acer is going to need to do more. I think it's now too late to pit.
He's still well without. He's still outside of Buffett's pit window.
You can see in these corners
so-
he is really losing a lot of time now as the gap is going
He's
down to
struggling.
1.6.
Yeah, I think he is not gonna be
And
able to hold this.
he's boxing. Is he boxing? Oh, he's faking
No, he's
it.
not. He's staying out.
faking
He
it.
faked it. Faked it. Cap is staying consistent.
Very
Buffett
close
is now
behind,
at
1.0
1.9
seconds.
3 laps to go. Can he do it? I don't think he can do this. I don't think Acer can defend this,
Acer-
sadly.
I think Acer made once again a problem, a mistake.
Yeah,
as
you can just see
yeah.
the difference in grip.
After gap, he's going to get it. Acer trying to weave to break the toe, so he
It's
doesn't
just
want
the
to let
difference.
it go, but
Obviously not, he's gonna defend it with everything he has, but just see the difference
Yeah.
on exit. The grip level is so different between these cars.
yeah, I think this
And
is
Buffett is
something Acer
still-
throw away. And Afsakap takes the position, and Acer can't do much anymore about it.
Oh.
Yes, I think Acer will be pitting now for softs to go for the fastest lap, considering
I
the
hope
mistake
he
he
does.
made.
I think that is the most reasonable thing to do right now.
As we see a front wing, I think that was the front wing of B guys, who is
And he stays out.
he had a problem. Acer, I don't know what is going through his head, considering he is far enough away from Buffett to pit. So
I have no idea why he's staying out, but
Ivarch is actually giving him now orders to pit. So B guys pitting again. I mean, Ivarch is way down him, so
and JCAS
He
is
can.
improving on his first sector. He's P7 right now. He's 2 seconds behind Fun Channel. And he was on the mediums. Now, the same mediums he pitted on for a few laps ago. It looks like Clocks has made a few mistakes and is within a few seconds. So it looks like we might have a battle P5, P6, and P7 for the closing stages of this race.
That will be very interesting considering their teammates.
Yeah, obviously he needs to score some points. He's got 1 point in the sprint, but yes, he needs to score some points. The team needs to score. Oh, he goes deep into turn 1. He's now 4 seconds behind. I do not think he can keep up with the Alfa Romeos at this stage.
Acer's now 2 seconds behind. The question is, will he pit finally this lap? It looks like he is not.
He's out. Once again, stays out. No idea what is going through his mind right now. That is.
Doesn't he?
A
Is he not
podium.
watching? Is that Is he? Doesn't he know what lap it is?
I'm not sure. He can't
I
pit
mean,
next
it's
lap.
pretty much wasted potential. If I say.
I
If
can't pit next lap.
Front channel had a problem, or had a. Oh! Front channel's out.
What?
Massive crash by front channel. At the end of the
Oh, he lost the rear.
of the
Oh, he lost the
SS.
rear. And that is a free position for the Aston Martin
That
and the Alpine.
I was on board of him there, and B guys also went into the wall at the. What is he doing? B guys is going. He's going back. He's trying to get that fastest lap. This might actually be a problem for him. This might actually, whatever he is doing, he. What the hell? Anyway, this is not very good for B guys. It might actually be a penalty. We don't know.
What did B guy do? What have B guy done now?
He went backwards to get a better exit of the fastest lap.
That is a very interesting tactic for him. And he has the final lap now to try and do it. He gets a little bit over there on the exit.
Here in
And
the
B must have made a mistake because he has dropped time to Acer.
Yeah. It was turning
Capstar
out
is
to
just
be,
gonna cruise now.
it was almost going to be a very exciting battle. B guys is crashed. Or
Oh,
I don't think he crashed actually. I think the car got sucked into the ground. It happened there before.
looks like he had a suspension failure.
Yeah, that is, well, it's not his own fault. It just can just happen.
Yes.
That's even worse. Outguard is ahead of Clocks, who is going very close to him as we are at the final lap. I was on board with the Alfa Romeo as it crashes, and that was absolutely terrifying.
Yes.
Clocks is going for the move on Outguard, and I think he got him. Outguard not really defending that hard, as
Yeah,
he
in his
actually makes
part,
a
but-
mistake.
Great exit from Clocks.
And Officer
And
Cap
Capstar
wins.
the Greece Grand Prix.
And his first race of the season,
Acer
Acer.
comes home, P2.
And I don't think he can be happy with that, considering
No.
what could have been.
I am thinking that Befit is gonna be very satisfied with this result, considering the position he was in on lap 1.
Well, he did almost go fully over the curb, so that was... It
Risky
could have
from him,
been...
but he can just cruise now to bring this home.
He must not crash out now. Taking the chicane pretty slowly to make sure it goes right. Clocks ahead of Outguard, a very
P3.
good job by him.
And JCAS is 2 seconds behind Outguard, who seems to
Oh,
be going
Clocks
slowly.
almost crashing on the final lap, or did it just look like that?
And JCAS brings it home to score P6 for Aston Martin.
Very close to Outguard. And
Only 6 drivers finishing.
well, technically Avarax is still driving, but I don't think he's gonna finish, but it will either be
Yeah.
P9 or P7 by him. The least amount of finishes we had today.
Indeed.
Wow. That was certainly a exciting race. That is literally no other ways I can put it. Wow. Yeah, those were really a lot of crashes.
Yeah.
I mean, I was literally watching everyone fly like... No, wait, fall like flies. I mean, first Del Boyo very early. Artemis, I didn't even see him crash, or did he get a disconnect? Santorno, I saw Hawk crash very hard. Lordy was a shocker. Warlord, then you came. Aviation out of nowhere. B guys, Fun Channel with the nightmare crash that it was.
Indeed.
Yeah, that.
Indeed.
I kind of need to get my breath again. Afsicap P1, ACP 2, and Buffett Qatar P3. Finally, Buffett getting some points. He really needs that.
Very much after last race's catastrophe in Group France.
Yeah, a lot of people who crashed in France also crashed today. Actually, not very surprising, just pointing out what I saw.
Indeed.
There are actually a lot of videos of certain crashes. I see a very small glimpse of a Santorno crash.
Yes.
From what I see, he just was in a very weird place. I don't really know how to call it elsewhere.
No.
As I look at the crash of Dole, it was pretty brutal. He went through the chicane of death and then clipped the outside curb and just went over the top.
Indeed.
That was pretty hurtful. Well, that was today's race, I guess. Very nice.
Indeed.
I think that will mean that Afsicap will be in the lead for the championship, which is actually very good news because we need a championship fight in order to make this season entertaining.
Indeed. It's gonna put Officer Cap in the first position, that is correct.
That's going to be very exciting, considering
Indeed.
the car will have to get a lot of points to get back at him. I cannot wait to see that.
Ah, cock, I got overtaken by my teammate now.
Yeah, that's
I only have
that's
5
on
points.
you. That's fully on you.
Yeah, no, I crashed 2 races in a row now.
Considering we had the highlights video on the beginning of the screen, we're going to have the intro near the end, unless someone wants to see the highlights video once again, because I spent a lot of work on it. So first, enjoy the intro.
Good evening, my people up in the chandeliers. The wine and dining, the menu is blood, sweat, and tears. Everybody ready, raining down confetti. Champions are born right now. Ain't about the glamour, click goes the hammer. Run when you hear that sound. Heroes never die, gonna make it to the finish line. We know we survive, even if we crawl to the finish line. I believe it, underdog dreaming, don't need no tears. World's gonna say it. Heroes never die, gonna make it to the finish line.
Alright, that was technically the end of the stream today. Want to thank you all very much for watching. Next week we will be back in Hungary. Gonna try to see if the car can get back his podium. We're going to end off on the highlights in case you missed it, because I don't think anyone is watching. I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you next week.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to RFO Season 5. We have new drivers, new tracks, new rules, new cars. Let's see what they can do with it and who will become the champion of this year.
You're like a ghost. You're haunting me. just like a ghost. You're haunting me now.
Hawk Base brings it home to win the first race of the season. We are lights out in South Korea. And the car brings it home and wins. We're here now in Australia. A lot of changes have happened already in the first two races. One of the most notably changes being the rebrand from Red Bull to Jaguar. And they're off and away.
Offsecap pits very late in the race. Dit could cost him his podium.
The car wins and Offsecap just misses out. Massive crash by Kral. The car wins for the third time in a row.